Good morning, my beautiful people. You're speaking to Beauty Maruma, a candidate attorney from Jolly Jubilee Attorneys. Welcome to Spectrums of Law. Now, today we're going to be indulging in the most controversial topic to ever exist in the South African legal system. I'm speaking about maintenance of a minor child. Cliche, right? I know, but hear me out. The fundamental consideration in maintenance claims is whether you're able to prove your expenses, right? The biggest misconception with regards to child maintenance is that the parties think that regardless of whether they're with the child 90% of the time or not, they're entitled to pay 50% towards the maintenance of the minor child. That misconception could be furthest from the truth. What you need to understand is that maintenance is paid according to apportionment. Basically, whoever parent earns more pays more for the maintenance of the minor child, regardless of whether they're with the child 90% of the time or not. I digress. The other thing that we need to pay specific attention to is the fact that parents think just because they are not with the child or just because they don't see the child 90% of the time, then they're not entitled to maintenance. That misconception is also furthest from the truth, right? The first thing you need to understand about the application for maintenance is that you don't need to go to court to get the application forms. You can just go online, type the J101 maintenance form, and there it is. I understand that having sight of the maintenance form can be slightly overwhelming, especially because you've never seen this before, you don't understand how it's done, but that's okay. We're here for you. We can assist you with that. Now, after filling in the maintenance form, what you need to do is that you need to attach your 6 months bank statement, you need to attach your salary advisor, all the expenses, and a list of income and expenses, including all the proof of expenses. For example, if you bought clothes, then you need to attach the receipt from Ackermans or any other store. Actually, it really does not matter. What matters is that you have proof of what you're actually speaking about, right? And the other thing that you need to attach is your certified copy of your ID and the certified copy of the child's ID or birth certificate, right? And your proof of residence, which is very important because you can't be going to Polokwane to apply for maintenance of a child that actually stays or lives in Johannesburg. One of the Johannesburg Magistrates Court is going to have jurisdiction in that regard, right? And now, the maintenance officers usually assist with the application proceedings. But in the instance where you want to go to court with your form fully filled, here's how you do it. Apportionment. Let's speak about apportionment and how much exactly you are entitled to, right? The biggest and most fundamental, prudent, and most specific thing that you need to understand about maintenance is that you need proof, right? You need proof of your income, you need proof of your expenses, which ultimately is going to determine how much it is exactly you're entitled for maintenance of that particular minor child or children. Right? So basically what happens is that whoever party earns more, it's the party that's actually going to pay more for the maintenance. Let me give a practical example. Bear with me, right? So let's say parent A earns 60,000 rands and parent B earns 15,000 rands. What's going to happen is that the maintenance officer is going to take the two incomes, match them together to find the total amount of approximately 65,000 rands, which is the joint income of both parties. Now, with regards to maintenance, they're going to take the income of parent A divided by the total income, which, for example, if you divide 65,000 rands by the total income, you might get approximately 77%, right? And now you're going to take the other income of the other party, you're going to divide it by the joint income, you're going to get about 15%. That is the amount of money that parent B is going to be entitled to pay, right? But that is not always the case. What happens with maintenance is that the maintenance officer has to satisfy themselves that the contents of the J1014, which is the maintenance form, is properly filled, which ultimately basically just gives the maintenance officer an idea of how much the child expenses are and how much the other party is going to be entitled to pay. Remember, just because you're with the child 90% of the time does not mean that the other party has to consume 100% maintenance towards the minor child. It doesn't happen like that. It's always on a 50-50 basis until the income are different. And and substantial difference also applies in this instance, right? Let's speak about apportionment and the child share and the household expenses on a pro rata basis. You also need to be able to differentiate the child expenses and expenses on a pro rata basis of the joint household expenses. Let me give a typical example of that, right? With regards to rent, let's say it's just you and the minor child at home, right? So what you're going to do is that you're going to take the 15,000 rands you pay towards the rent of the household, then you're going to divide it by 3, meaning the child share is going to be 5,000 rands, and you as a major, your share is going to be 10,000 rands. Now you and the other party are going to contribute 50-50 towards the 5,000 rands of the minor child's. Now that we're done with regards to apportionment and the calculations that come into effect when you apply for maintenance, let's speak about the maintenance proceedings itself. I understand that they can be tedious, but don't worry, I've got you. Let's speak about the first proceeding that comes into effect after you've lodged your maintenance application, which we call it a Section 6 maintenance inquiry. Basically, what that means is that two parties, the applicant and the respondent, are going to be in this cozy little room with the maintenance officer presiding over it as the mediator. And the presiding officer or the mediator or the maintenance officer is basically just going to be there and try to establish a meeting point for the parties, right? It's basically going to try and understand all the calculations that are in the J101 form. They're basically going to recalculate just to ensure that you've properly calculated your apportionment and that you are actually entitled to the amount of money you're claiming, right? The maintenance officer is going to try in every means to get the parties to settle. Basically, what I mean is that they're going to want you to sign a consent to maintenance order. It is important that before you commit to anything, you ensure that you have the financial bundle or the financial document of the other party. Now, that is going to assist you to establish exactly how much the other party earns, their expenses, and how it is that they actually utilize or how it is they actually spend their money. That is going to assist you impeccably with basically understanding whether you will be getting the amount of money you want or not. Now, after you receive the financial bundle of the other party, you're going to conduct another Section 6 inquiry, which is basically going to give you time to go through the bundle of the respondent or the bundle of the other party, whichever you wish to call it. You're going to thoroughly go through their financial bundles. Their financial bundles include their bank statement, 6 months bank statement to be specific, and their salary advice and all the list of income and expenses. Some of them go as far as bringing proof of their grocery slips, of their clothing slips. Well, that really doesn't matter. The bone of contention, what we're actually looking for is how much they earn and how their monthly expenses are distributed, right? Then we're going to have to find out exactly how much it is they are left with after all their expenses are paid up, right? That is fundamentally going to explain to you or going to inform you how much it is exactly they can afford to pay for maintenance of the minor child. Now, that is a second appearance, which is a further Section 6 inquiry, whereby you're going to sit down with the maintenance officer and go through the financial bundles again. Now, I understand it can be a tedious proceedings, but this is to assist the parties and to ensure that the parties understand each other's financials and that the parties understand the implication that signing a maintenance or a consent to maintenance order can have towards them, right? Hence, I said before that you absolutely do not need to sign a consent to maintenance order, regardless of how much the other party's offer is tempting. You definitely don't need to sign a consent to maintenance order. Now, let's say the Section 6 inquiry or the mediation, Section 6 mediation, does not, under any circumstances, go through. So meaning that the parties cannot consent to the maintenance of the minor child or they cannot meet a common ground. We go up the ladder to what we call a Section 10 inquiry. Now, this is in open court. This is a trial for maintenance. This is basically where both the parties are going to lead their evidence as to their income and expenses. The applicant is going to have to substantiate their form. The applicant is basically going to go through the form and basically try and convince the court to get the court to understand exactly how much they want and why they are worthy of receiving that amount of money, right? And the respondent is going to also come into effect, and they're going to basically just try and explain to the magistrate, because now we're done with the maintenance officer. The maintenance officer could not get the parties to settle. The respondent is going to try and basically get the magistrate to understand why they cannot pay the amount of money that is claimed by the applicant, and ultimately the court is going to make a decision that is just and equitable for all the parties. I understand it can be a tedious proceedings, but we've got you. For more information about maintenance from inception until the end, you can always follow us on the link below or on the email attached below. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.